Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. You're very welcome to the programme, and beautiful scenery here. We're actually at FAUGHART Hill, and of course it's near Dundalk, so we're not too far from Dundalk here, but you can see the beautiful scenery. The clouds are a wee bit low, that's the only thing. It's blocking it a wee bit. But we're on the trail of Edward Bruce, and there was a battle fought here at this graveyard. It's known as the Battle of FAUGHART, and it took place on the hill of FAUGHART, just north of Dundalk in County Leith, on the 14th of October 1318, and I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. But it was here that the Anglo-Irish army, which was mainly of Anglo-Norman descent, who were loyal to King Edward II of England, came to blows with an alliance of Scots and Irish forces under the command of the High King of Ireland, Edward Bruce of Scotland. So this is the graveyard. Now, the Scots-Irish army were defeated by the English, and Edward was actually killed in that battle, and his body was quartered, and the parts were sent to various towns in Ireland, and his head being delivered to King Edward in England by John Birmingham, who, in recognition of his victory over the Scots-Irish army that day, was bestowed with the title of first Earl of Louth, along with being created the barony of Ardee, and of course Ardee's not too far from here. This is the church that you're looking at, the old 12th century church, or at least what remains of it. And you can see a lot of the old gravestones here, you just cannot make them out, and they're broke, but possibly a good age with some of these gravestones. Now, another source says that Edward's body was actually interred here in the burial ground at FAUGHART. So I'm going to show you where they believe his grave is. That's if the other source is unreliable. So to be honest, I just don't know. He could be buried here, he might not be buried here. I don't know. As I say, there's two sources. But I'm going to show you a few things as we go along here in this graveyard. This is a strange one here. You can see the crucifix there on a Celtic cross, but underneath then you have that's a spear, a ladder, a hammer, and various other utensils as well. Possibly maybe speaking of mortality or immortality, I don't know. So this is to Patrick John Murphy, and he departed this life in 1894 in April. I think it's the 9th of April. So that's who that one's for. And then this one here is James Marion, and that's Carrick Edmund, and he was born 1720, died 1797, as you can see. And so this is the church here. This is the 12th century church. There was a couple of wee ladies there going around praying, so I didn't want to disturb them too much. But that's the 12th century church. So there's a wee bit of information here concerning Edward Bruce. So I'm going to do a wee series on these, because There's a lot of these up north as well, these wee plaques at Carrickfergus and Dundalland, etc. So I'm hoping to do a wee series on these. So this is 26th of May 1315, 14th of October 1318. Edward Bruce 700. On 26th of May 1315, Edward Bruce landed near Lorne with a 6,000 strong Scottish army. A year earlier, his elder brother Robert the Bruce, King of Scotland, had defeated the Anglo-Normans at the Battle of Bannockburn in Scotland. Their relatives, the O'Neills of Ulster, invited Robert and Edward to cross the narrow sea to forge an alliance and achieve the same in Ireland. With the support of local chiefs, Edward Bruce was crowned King of Ireland at Carrickfergus and quickly took control of Ulster. The town served as Bruce's headquarters throughout this 3.5-year campaign. When the Anglo-Normans surrendered Carrickfergus Castle to the Scots, King Robert brought reinforcements from Scotland, and the brothers marched south. The campaign ended in defeat when Edward was killed at the Battle of FAUGHART, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, near Dundalk on the 14th of October 1318. And of course Carrickfergus itself has a lot of history. And then it says, FAUGHART, the final battle and death of a king. In October 1318, a small force headed by Edward Bruce advanced on Dundalk. They encountered a large Anglo-Norman army, but rather than wait for reinforcements, Bruce decided to attack. In the battle that followed, King Edward was killed, along with many of his Scottish generals and Irish allies. The Bruce campaign in Ireland was over. The surviving Scots withdrew to Carrickfergus and returned to Scotland. Traditions surrounding Bruce have persisted at FAUGHART ever since. A flat stone memorial in the graveyard records his death here. So at least, even if he isn't buried here, which he could well be, but even if he's not, at least the gravestone and memorial mark the remembrance of his death here at the Battle of FAUGHART. And so I'm going to show you that. This is it here. Isn't this fantastic? So this is supposedly where he's buried, although the other source says that he was basically dissected and different parts of him went to different places. So whether he's buried here or not, I do not know. But certainly, even if he's not, the marker here remembers his death and the battle that was fought here. It says, Edward Bruce, King of Ireland, killed in battle at FAUGHART, 14th of October 1318. So there you go. What do you think of that? Isn't that pretty amazing? Now, there's another